Hi, my name is Melvin Harris, president of Hempstead branch of NAACP. In back of me, you don't see thousands of people rallying, cheering justice for a cop caught in an unlawful act. What you see is the president of the NAACP with more than 100 years of standing in courtrooms, like the one I stood in this morning, that resembled a lot like Money, Mississippi during the Emmett Till trial. The PBA can show up with as many men as they want, yelling and chanting justice, but what we have is the hardcore video. What Rodney King had in 1991 was the hardcore video. How can they stand by and justify what is on that video, the beating of an unarmed 20-year-old male on his way home from work? Mr. Carver, you have taken a stand in quicksand, and when the public sees the whole entire videotape, they'll form their own opinion. But the public must be aware of the fact that Dr. King said that we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. We're calling on all the ministers, elected officials, those people that come to us constantly for their support, to come out and say what we saw in that videotape is not the America that we want to live in or raise our children in. I'm hoping that this massive appeal for justice in Nassau County will not go unheard. I'm hoping that now we can take a look at why we need a civilian complaint review board in Nassau County will not go unheard. I'm hoping that we can take a bigger and broader look at the segregation in Nassau County and the environment that it breeds. So all you have to do is look at the courtroom this morning. Lined from wall to wall with people chanting for justice for someone who almost beat someone to death. Where were our voices this morning? Those that raised their family right, hoping to live out the American dream, were absent from that courthouse this morning. But I'm glad that God was there for Kyle Howell that day. He stopped his car right there under that video camera, because other than that, we'd be looking at something totally different that didn't even resemble justice. How many more men are locked up in jails right here in Nassau County, stopped by these police officers, We're calling for the district attorney now to take a look at the history of work in Nassau County. The PBA called them decorated officers, but on that particular day, the only thing they were decorated with was the blood of Kyle Howard. I'm calling for justice, and I'm calling for it right now.
Thank you very much. In a very unusual turn of events, felony charges were just completely dismissed without ever even trying to get the input of the two police officers who made the arrest in that case. And then, to further compound it, a decision was made not to go slow and investigate and find out what the case is about, although it was late at that point, but rather to literally dive headfirst into the grand jury with one thing in mind: seek an indictment against the police officer. And the grand jury is a very different proceeding. The district attorney can obtain an indictment whenever they want. It's a very different proceeding than a trial. Thank you.
What does that say to you?
Thank you very much.
Agenda there?
Thank you, guys. Ready.
Thank you. Thank you for having this meeting. This meeting is a great meeting, but everybody here really, you need to be louder. You need to be out in the streets. You really, I've been involved for over 25, almost 30 years. I represented individuals, national organization, Blacks in Law Enforcement. I represented a lot of individuals who were law enforcement officers years ago in class action suit This is not only in Nassau County, this is still going on all over. This, when I came out to Nassau County only a few years ago to practice, unfortunately, this is like most counties all over still. And in this case, with this horrendous level of brutality that was spoken about with the video, the Nassau County District Attorney's Office did not immediately drop these charges. The charges were not dropped because even the judge saw the video. The charges were only dropped after the Nassau County District Attorney was posturing about the best political move to be made, given the fact that there's, November elections. That's really what happens here. So this is not, unfortunately, and I'm sorry to be stating the brutal truth, but that's what I do. I state the truth and it's not the brutal truth. It is that this is the only reason why this case took weeks to get dismissed. It should have been dismissed in 24 hours. So I hear you to have, that, and I applaud you for wanting to bring about the Civilian Complaint Review Board, but really there needs to be more. You need to be louder. You need to have representative classes in jury pools, in grand jury pools, to make sure that everybody is equally represented in their jury pools. It's really, really, really important. So I applaud all of you for coming out and for everything that you're doing here, but
It's not enough.
you got, I mean, look at the video. It's just horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. Like I said, you will verbally just, gasp at what's going on. I mean, this is a brutal beating. When I spoke to Mrs. Howell, and she was hysterical, she is fortunately so composed now, and I said, I can't believe I'm having this conversation with you, because I really feel like I'm talking to a woman in the South in the 60s. The fear that she had in her voice for her child, that he could not even go outside because she thought that he would be hounded. And I have to tell you, I have a lot of these cases. I have cases where after the individual is presently pending, the Nassau County Police Department detectives and internal affairs officers are going around and intimidating and threatening to shut down the business establishments of witnesses. This is what's happening. It is happening. It is there. Whatever help you need, whatever you need to do, but you all need to be out in the street and hollering about this.